Hi everybody, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Funny Farm. Yes, we are Carnation Crafts. It's carnationcrafts.tv. Taz, myself and Carla are with you for the last of the live hours today, bringing you a brand new collection. We've had lunch, by the way. Thank you ever so much, Carla.
We've been sated. It was very delicious. Yes. It was very nice. Had to get changed because it was proper maftin and like all my face just fell off. It is what it is, dudes, at this stage. You'll just have to put up with it.
Now then, Floral Embrace. We launched this, well, there was a Facebook tease of it yesterday, and I know loads of you people, loads of you actually bought it yesterday in the afternoon. 30% of our entire stock of this has now gone. This is the launch date, the first day, and only the third show of showing this to you. I think why it's been so popular, and that's the understatement of the day, by the way, popular, is that none of us know anyone else that's doing this or has ever done it before. I might be wrong, but I have never ever seen three-dimensional flowers that you can construct and make, bless you, that you can construct and then make into your own floral bouquets and your fantastic arrangements and that sort of thing. They look so realistic, and the Floral Embrace collection today is everything that you can see in front of me. Now, we're going to show you how to put the flower together, how it actually kind of the process is in just a second. But let's have a little look first of all at what you've got. You've got the halo-shaped card base, which also acts as almost like a crown or a coronet that you can have around the flowers as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. All of these beautiful flowers and the stems and the grasses too. More of the flower heads down the bottom. And then you've got, of course, your little floral tag that can go inside your floral arrangement. And you get some sentiments there as well. So it's $98.99. Now that price is the price you'll pay if you use the discount code, which is CCFE10. Okay, CCFE10. That will give you that brilliant price of $98.99. Now we have got, of course, ClearPay and also PayPal Pay in 3 available. That's interest free. So ClearPay, for example, will be $24.75 over 4 payments, and PayPal Pay in 3 will be just $32.99 over 3 payments. Or, of course, you can pay in full on a debit or a credit card. No trouble there at all. $98.99. Now this to me is what Carnation does best. They're imaginative, they're innovative, they're amazing fun to put together these flowers. This little clip shows you how easy it is to do. Amazing. And of course that's just one flower. When you put them all together, what can you do? Well, this is one of my favorite cards of the entire show today. Love it, because that wonderful halo card base, obviously we've got it as the base, but it's also been wrapped around the back to create almost like a tiara effect, but it just wonderfully frames all of those flowers. So the design team have obviously absolutely enjoyed themselves putting all these together. And the base, which Carla's going to show you fairly soon, can be used in lots of different ways. You can have it like a coronet or like a tiara. You can have it as a ring in the center of the base as well. And then everybody's creation using these 3D flowers will be unique and will be different. But you can also use them in a very conventional, everyday way as well. And these wonderful nesting dies are coming up in the show fairly soon as well. They're brand new today. And by the way, the 40% of the nesting dies have already gone. I'll just quickly show you that halo card base again. Pam Simpson's done this one for the design team, but cut it out twice, put it together, and you've got the most incredible oversized doily effect with the flowers being used in quite a traditional way. So Carla, you've got the boards there, haven't you?
I have. So we're going to have a look through, see what you're getting for your money, and then we will get to demo in a little while. So what we've got, this halo card shape, which is absolutely extraordinary for all of your construction needs, absolutely beautiful as a base point for any card. But because you've got this band here that lifts, you score it at this point and you tuck it in, so you create that banded sort of wreath almost, which we can use as a vase to hang those 3D florals. Now from above, what that gives us is, holdy, this. So you get this banded wreath that sits around the front or at the back there, depending. Because we've got mirrored vignettes, you can see those florals on both sides. You get the colour on both sides, and you get this expansive, beautiful set, which folds apart, just untucks, pulls down, and sits forward for your postage needs. So everything is taken care of. But more importantly, there's elements to it that we can use independently. So for instance, if I was to cut away the banding here and just use this portion, I've got a half doily. If I want to use the band, I can, and I will show you that in demo later on today, and just use the band as a border. So lots of different playways with that too. But as we've seen, we can use it as a curvature for the back of a card. You can concertina it to make this beautiful waved fan as well. Loads and loads of different options for us. Plus we've got the corners, and each one of those has got a mat and a layer, and this also has got a mat and a layer. The end die here, which is what cuts the edge, so you'll see this is split just there and just there. So this can be moved further away. You can have a longer rectangular platform at the back, or you can add it up together to make the ones that you've seen on show today.
It's such a clever design as well.
Yeah.
The fact that you can move move the decorative background into so many different shapes and sizes.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus these little tabs where we tuck that into either here, or you can tuck one and one into here. You can tuck them over into the elements here or open. You choose how you want it to look when you get it back. It's just exquisite. Then you've got these gorgeous, gorgeous florals. I love these so much because it's something different for us from Carnation. So we've got these elements. I did a full demo of these in the show earlier on, so you can go back and watch that. That was the 11 o'clock show. And we did a full construct of the main card shape with the standing florals at the 9 o'clock show this morning. So you've got all your different elements that you can put in together. These are meant to be decoupage shaped, sculpted, all of the different areas. And this can be the same. We've then got the innards to the flowers here. You've got different options for them. You've got the calyx and you've got the stem. So lots of different ways of playing. And with the stems, you could put 2 or 3 together to make them really, really structured, or you can leave one on its own and allow it to bend forward. It's up to you what you want to do and how you
and I know
play it.
Some of you were mentioning on social media earlier on, can you use things like floristry wire? Yes, you can. You could easily put that to give it more strength and stability if you wanted to, yeah.
So Suhan has said, could imagine mixes with other collections for endless projects, thinking the butterflies would look good. Great camera work. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Miss Tiztaz. Hey. The amount of things we can do it. Just go back to Hazy Horizons and think of Brian the Seagull sitting on that round amongst all the coastal elements coming round. The lighthouse from Coastal Currents. So suddenly we've gone from being a floral card to where we're now a coastal card. Lots of different elements to play with, isn't there? There's loads of different ways of going, well, I can change this up completely. Think of your Christmas cards, think of the Santa, think of using different elements to that. You can have the outside piece as a snow cone. Can you pass me this one, Dave? This one.
This one.
So if we look at this one, just suspend your imagination for a minute, get rid of the florals. Where you've got that cone at the back, so if I just sort of switch it here, so you can see this up there. So you've got this cone at the back. If you think of that and had it forward, get rid of the florals, put your Santas in there.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. So you've almost got an iced background for it. There's so many different ways of utilising it. Obviously, for this show, it's meant to be with the florals. It's called Floral Embrace, but it doesn't stop there, and nor should it. Liz Brown, I can imagine using foam instead of card. Yeah, have a go and see. I don't know what the dies will cut. I haven't gone to that extent with the demos, so make sure you have a go with it. See what happens. I think they would look really beautiful in vellums, really stunning in vellums as well. So lots and lots of different ways of doing it. Then we've got your little label. So we found out, what was this called? A cardette.
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 Yep.
Your little cardette, which holds your cards in place in your bouquets. Stunningly pretty with your 3 labels. And of course, all your sentiments. We've got with love, we've got celebrate, and we've got for you. And they can all be built up. And they're just so pretty. It's the detailing, isn't it? The tiny, tiny dots. I think I'm going to sneeze again. I'm just letting you know. But the board to behold
is this one. Look at this. It's like you've just walked in, opened the door into a florist shop. So much beautiful artwork, so much amazing quality dies in there for your money as well. And bear in mind the vignettes, remember, which is our word for the artwork that complements this, is going to be on our website tomorrow, which is carnationcrafts.co.uk. Not today, but tomorrow. So order your dies today. They'll be shipped straight away. I know there's another Royal Mail pickup this afternoon for orders that are placed in this show. So you may even get it tomorrow. You never know. If not tomorrow, maybe the day after. But certainly you can print off all of that artwork, all those vignettes tomorrow at carnationcrafts.co.uk.
Yeah, they'll have it all on the website for you to use, and you'll be able to start printing out and making sure you've got everything you need. This, thank you for filling for me, Dave.
Right.
The sneeze went away. Somebody stole it. I hate that. I'd rather just get it out, but it went away. So this board is just absolute perfection. And while we're demoing today, what I would like to do is to get into looking at some of these bigger line florals as well. We've been through lots of the other ones. I would like to look at some of these. So you've seen all of them in action on the first day. We will be back tomorrow with another couple of shows as well. So you can see that then at 10 and 12. But let's get as much done as we can, so you've got all the visuals you'll need. Your stems, this stunning foliage, that's my favourite piece of foliage I've ever played with. Then you've got your flower heads here. These can be used for decoupage. You've got your extra decoupage elements coming through. And then these all decoupage up as well. You can see all the different elements. Lots of your grasses. And then this one, which is just beautiful with those pivot heads, where these florals will just glue and you form your own floral, which is just really, really awesome, isn't it? That chance to be your own creator. Gorgeous, gorgeous set. It really is. Floral Embrace, I think, has stolen the heart of many of us. Definitely stolen my heart today. I absolutely love it.
Now we have got another new set of nesting dies coming up fairly soon as well. But I mean, think about the versatility of flowers. What are flowers appropriate for? They're appropriate for everything. To decorate your own home, to wish someone a happy birthday, a happy anniversary. If it's a sympathy card you want to make, the flowers are going to work for that, of course, as well. But these are not just cards. This is what amazes me, is they are actually ornaments at the same time. Okay, if you want to make an easel card, one that maybe you've done before or something like that, yes, you can use these flowers in a very conventional way, like that one, for example, or like the one that I've got in my hand here. They work beautifully like that. But what this is allowing you to do is to really build your own bouquets, your own flower arrangements. You're going to become a florist. You're going to become a flower arranger. And bear in mind the vignettes can be single-sided or double-sided. Print the double-sided ones. They're free as well, because of course with a double-sided vignette you've got as much beauty on the back of the flower as you have on the front of it. So from every angle, if this is on a coffee table, for example, or on a windowsill, or somewhere where it's visible from the outside in and inside out, this is going to look just as beautiful from where I'm looking now as if I was looking at it at the front. And that's the difference with the Carnation. That's the Carnation difference. We want to give you things that you've never seen before. We want to give you crafting opportunities that maybe no one else has thought of yet. And that's what the guys at the office are so good at doing, and all the team at Carnation are brilliant at doing it. I mean, this one here, for example, just really gorgeous. Again, using that halo base, using it in the round, You can use it as a semicircle, use it in the round like a napkin if you wish to as well. So there's lots of versatility with this today. This has been one of our most busiest launches in recent months, and this is exclusive to us at Carnation Crafts TV at the moment. No one else has got this. So you'll be one of the first people in Britain and around the world to have this to play with, to really set your crafting table at the fairs alight with beautiful coloured flowers. If you want to get more eyes on your collections, on your cards, this is a way of doing it, definitely. Now, perfect papers, quickly, although we call them papers, they are actually 300 GSM cardstock. These have been produced in these beautiful, subtle colourways. You've got a lovely lavender and lilac colour, beautiful baby pink, beautiful caramel colours there as well. Some of them are bold, not bold, some of them are the block colours. Others, you've got a slight pattern printed on them as well. So you've got a little ditzy floral pattern, you've got flourishes printed on there, and then the block colours. But they're going to complement the flower artwork beautifully. That's only $14.99. But remember, if you're buying the main collection and you add that into your basket, you won't pay any P&P because, of course, it's over £50 you'll spend. So do that at the same time, maximise the fact that your P&P is taken care of. And if you're in America, you too can also order this as well. But you may well be interested in these nesting dies. You might think, oh, I've already got nesting dies. I bet you haven't got nesting dies like these, because these are a bit special. The Teardrop and Sweep collection, 230915. 40% of the entire stock of these nesting dies is gone. They're $134.99 with free UK P&P. Beg your pardon, if you're buying these and you want to split the cost, with ClearPay that'll be $33.75 over 4 payments. If you're paying with PayPal Pay in 3, that would only be £45 over the 3 monthly payments. But they're gorgeous, these colour.
They're really stunning. They're really effective for card making as well, because we can create the most gorgeous apertures with them, but we can also create layered toppers as well. They just look really beautiful, and the way they cut is different. I can't explain it, but they've got, can I just show you this? See how here it almost looks,
it's slightly curved on the edge, isn't it?
It does look curved. It's got this really beautiful, thick, chunky cut to it. They're so pretty. They're just really exquisitely done, really, really beautiful. Dave, have I lost 2 boards down there, look, right at the back?
Oh yeah, you have. How did they get there?
My bottom. Nobody needs to know that, but it is true. When I was trying to get out, and I was a bit hot earlier, and I got a bit flustered, and I think they came with me a little way across the room.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, all of that done, let's have a look at these beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous nested dies. These are so, so stunning. So you've got, obviously, all your nested here. That may have got curled by my... Let's just stop talking about it. Then you've got your diamond, which is absolutely spectacular. So this is 8 inches top to bottom that way, and I believe 4 across. And it's gorgeous for easels. This is going to make some of the most extraordinary easels. But also, if you use the DL behind it and start raising, you're going to create some of the most beautiful kind of silhouettes on your card shapes. Really pretty. We've then got your circle, which is stunning, stunning, stunning. Just this gorgeous array, isn't it? Would make a really beautiful top of an umbrella, wouldn't it? If you were doing an art piece. Really, really pretty. And actually doing something where each layer is in a different colour would just be absolutely stunning. And then on top of that, you've got your hexagon, which we're looking at the first. And then we go on from there to your square.
And that will,
So
of course,
beautiful.
make a lovely diamond shape as well, but it will be the same width as it is height, whereas the other one was stretched.
Diamond shapes. And then finally, you have got your DL, which I did a demo with in the last show. Really pretty. It's so lovely. And on white, I've got to tell you, of all the nested dies I've ever used, I can absolutely say that these ones lend themselves to white on white more than any other set of nested I have ever used. They are glorious. The oval is such an epic size as well, just crafting perfection.
Now, Vera Bow, hello Vera, one of our design team members, has done this one. So this is showing you how brilliantly well those nesting dies work with our fantastic Floral Embrace collection today. They kind of work in absolute harmony, which is why we're featuring them in the show today. Another one here, again, using those beautiful nesting dies to great effect. That's Lavinia Newton, who's done this one. Another one here, this is Janine Dawson, who's done this one using the same nesting dies, but with those beautiful flowers. So if you don't want to always make like a floral arrangement, but you want to use them as conventional cards, they're going to work for you beautifully well. Over here, I'll just grab another couple of these. This is Janine. And actually, this is one that Carla did in the last show. That was at 11 o'clock this morning. And both of us agreed that sometimes less is more. And just a really simple, I don't know whether you call that triptych or not. That's normally 3 panels, isn't it? But to have the 3 beautiful blue flowers, just very simply surrounded by those nesting dies, those frames, it just works. So whether you want to do something very, very, very elaborate, whether you want to do something very, very simple, these collections are going to go a long way. And like Carla quite rightly said, think about all the Carnation collections you've already purchased in the past and how elements from those can work with this. I mean, this, to be honest, this wonderful halo die doesn't say anything about flowers. It could be for any occasion, like you mentioned. It could be a stained glass window. It could be a wonderful backdrop for Father Christmas and the reindeer. It could be all sorts of things, but it's so elaborate and so beautiful. And remember, cut it twice, and you can then make a whole circular doily if you want. So the Floral Embrace collection is brand new today. No one else has got it. It's not available anywhere else apart from us here for the time being. 230-911. This is the last live show of today. There are 2 more shows scheduled tomorrow at 10 and 12. But remember, if you put your order in now, there's a Royal Mail collection from Carnation Crafts later this afternoon. They'll pick it, they'll pack it, they'll post it this afternoon. So you should get it maybe even tomorrow. You never know.
It's always good service from Carnation.
Always.
They're very, very good in the warehouse there. I've just picked up my glass cutting mat and things fell out from a different collection. So I'm hoping I don't get... That did not happen, Carnation. Right, so I've cut 2 8x8 pieces and we're just going to look at construction in a different way with that halo card shape. Is there a pop song that's got the word halo in it?
Yes. Is it Rihanna?
What's it called?
Beyonce.
It's called Halo.
Halo. Yeah.
Every time we say halo card shot, then my brain tries to sing a song, but I don't know the song, so I just keep thinking maybe I've made that there is.
I'm not going to try and sing it.
Does it just keep repeating the word halo?
Yes.
Halo.
I can see your halo.
Oh, there is a shoot. There is an actual thing to it. I miss the days of Cilla Black, Dave, when songs made sense. Right, so I've got my white 8x8. Now I'm going to do this in a 350 cardstock. It's Carnation's 350 GSM. Why? Because it's construction weight and it means it can hold what we're doing. More so than any time when we're working with anything that's constructive, so we're working with 3D florals, those kind of things. The greater the card weight that you use on the base, the better you're going to be able to provide a stable grounding for your card. So if you've got some 350 GSM at home, that's absolutely my go-to for it. It'll just make your life a lot easier and it will produce a better finished result. And it's one of those things that I learned the hard way. The lighter GSMs don't work for me as card bases. I need, because I construct all the time and I sculpt, I need that stronger base.
Now, we did get some questions earlier on in our previous shows about posting these. Yes, you can actually, especially with the actual halo base and so on, they will go flat, but there will be dimension in the flower. So we recommend a jiffy bag or putting some bubble wrap around it, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so pretty, isn't it?
Love that colour.
Colour, that coral, that gorgeous, gorgeous colour tone of the perfect papers, and then topping it with a patterned piece is just so pretty. And look at that, just gorgeous, right?
I'm glad they do the patterns now, actually.
Me too. I don't want them to ever stop. I'm hoping they don't, but obviously I don't get the say, but it would be, I'm hoping that Nick keeps them because I love the textural component that you get from it, the visual textural. As always, I can't work on anything that's got that strong a colour. That's not to say you shouldn't. It's just that I can't. My brain goes fizzy when I try and put things on top of heavy patterns. So I always call my tones, and I do that by adding a white topper to it. What I want to see is some of that tint behind it, and I want to watch that build of colour rise. So from that, we've got the white, and we go to our block colour there, and we rise up through the textural to the white. So we're focusing everything to the central point of that card, and that gives the recipient an idea of focus without them knowing that they're being guided. So from there, I'm just going to plop this onto here, push, pull, get that into place so it's where it should be. Now, I've taken the border of that beautiful, beautiful halo card shape, which is just so pretty. Put that on some foam tape and see how we suddenly transform something into something else. Now we have got what you would class as, I suppose, almost like a pelmet, isn't it? If you think of curtains, it's got that kind of theatrical bloom to it.
And this is where Carnation are really, really unique in that they even give you artwork for that and for the halo as well. It looks, I know I had to double check myself earlier on, it looked like it was just embossed. And I thought, is it a really deep emboss? Is that where the pattern's coming from? But no, it's actually the artwork from
Isn't
the
it
vignettes.
beautiful?
Yeah.
I tell you what, it would go really well with. My brain's playing me tricks on me here. You know, somebody at home help me out. What's the collection? And it's the little girl, and she's reaching up to a dressing table to get a lipstick off it, and there's curtains.
I remember it.
Somebody help me out. I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, guys. So what I'm going to do is use that as a border. I've got it on a 5mm foam tape. That's going to raise it up and allow me to have some shadow play. And with this, all I've done is fold it in half, and then I've folded each piece back onto itself, just roughly, loosely. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just trying to get the shaping of it because I'm trying to wave it out. And then I've got options now on how to play with it and how high I want it to be, how low I want it to be.
You just wanted to make yourself a fan, didn't you? That's what it was.
But you're not wrong, Dave. But can you see how I changed the textural gradient of the card by adding in some lift? Now I can use this base point here to dictate how far I want it to go. A little bit fancy, Tracy Moore, I love you, thank you. You can push and it will lower it, or you can leave it raised. It's up to you how you want to play. Once you've got that in place, it's
I
up
love
to
the
you
shadow
to
you
place
get
it.
from that.
I know, isn't it absolutely? Oh, you're all saying it's a little bit fancy. You're so good to me. What would I do without the Carnation Army?
I know.
I know they're so quick, right? They know the things.
You're there.
They're much quicker than I am. Not that it takes much. I was born for comfort, not speed. Right, I'm just going to put a bit more wet glue on here because it's drying out in that heat.
Now, I know an awful lot of you are going for the glue applicators that we talked about in the earlier show today. That will be a really good move, bearing in mind, you know, how delicate the stems of the flowers have to be, the grasses, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The applicators are perfect for all those tiny little applications you need for your glue.
Now I'm just adding in a tiny amount, first of all, just at the bottom. I am going to have to adjust this and add some more glue because I don't want it wafting all over the place. But what I can do is get it in place. Now I know I'm going to have the border over it, so I'm not too worried about glue getting in places really. I'm just trying to look at placement, making sure I've got it in the center, making sure I can place my border over the top of it, which is what I'm aiming to do. So I want that to be covered. So now that I know roughly that I'm in the right place with it, now I can push. So once that's dried and it's in place, I can then manipulate my edges to come down slightly to keep it raised fairly much at the top, and that's going to give it some textural pinning. It's going to place it visually. So I can take this, and all I'm going to do is where that seats, just place a little bit of adhesive there, raise, little bit of adhesive hither, shunt. Now, because it's the Carnation glue, I can get away with some wiggling here. So I can pull it just ever so. There we go. Pin. And I'm happy with that. That's
looking amazing without any of the flowers.
Yeah, it's a really nice way of using the card shape as well. Always more than one way of doing things with Carnation. So just pinning that down, and I'm going to pin that a little bit down at the bottom down here so it's hidden behind, just because it's visually neater, but I quite like the over the edge of it, and that should set me exactly where I want to be. So we have this really stunning piece that's really pretty. Now we've got options here. I'm going to use the big flowers and I'm going to put them on top without any shame at all, but if you were to cut some stems down, you could start to tuck.
So it's like the fan is the vase, really.
You'd need to cut them shorter. Let's show you. So if I take this and I cut some down, I can start to tuck them into the fan, and I could work a bouquet around that. Then I could put a sentiment on the top.
That would look amazing.
Loads of different ways of playing. Don't think you're pinned into one position. You absolutely are not. But I just like the idea of leaving some clean line at the top. I like the curvature of the fan, and I'm quite happy to keep that as my dominance in my white space, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to start playing. So foliage, my favourite foliage. This floral, which is going to be my showstopper.
Tomorrow, are we offering single-sided vignettes and double-sided vignettes? Or is it just the double because they're the flowers? Do we know?
They'll give you both options, I think, because Carnation, as a rule, does.
Right. Because I suppose, actually, if you're not making bouquets that are going to be visible from all angles, you may be quite happy having the single-sided. So, yeah.
It'll work in all different ways. So, I've got this sitting here. I've got a couple of these tiny florals as well. I've also got a sentiment. I like to show you what I'm working with before I start so that you've got an idea if you want to craft it at home. So we've got all of this sitting in front of us ready to go. Now I need to start shaping and I need to start figuring some stuff out. And so the way I'm going to do that first of all is work from the bottom up. I know that my foliage is going to be seated at the bottom. So taking a ball tool, and I'm going to be quick with this, just around the edges, we know the rules. Always start on your edges, work towards the center in a spiral. All the way around. I'll be quick, but I do want to do it where it's been dug out.
Ball tools and the foam mats and everything, they're on the website as well, as is the everyday glue, the glue adapters.
If you find you've still got little pieces stuck in from dies, always try and poke them out if you can, because they can come loose in transit and it looks better obviously without them. They do sometimes get held, but if you spot them, just try and weed them out.
And remember, the vignettes will be there tomorrow, not today, tomorrow, and you can print off as many sheets as you want, and there will be both. There will be both the single-sided and the double-sided vignettes for you, so you can choose. So you're not wasting ink if you don't need the double-sided, that sort of thing.
Right, I'm going in with these. Now, one thing to note about the foliage is it has a stem going through. If you want to really start shaping, if this is proper paper sculpture, this is like sculpting. See how it curves?
Mm-hmm.
If we're careful, and we pin that in and we follow Nick's S line round, I can create a full leaf shape. Where is it, Miss Towers? Let me get it. There you go. You can create by following his lines all around to allow it to create that full leaf shape.
And that's the Carnation difference.
That's
those
the
cut
Carnation
lines
difference.
are in exactly the right place that they need to be.
That's the full on piece. Now I'm going to place that in. I'll glue it in a second, and I'll place this one through as well. Find my placements. So I want them scoping. I want my viewpoint for my card to bring my visual in. So I'm going to lay those on those side panels here, leaving my center one free for my florals to be. That's where my focus wants to be. I could add more if I wanted to. I'm okay with it as it is. I don't want any more than that. That's fine. Now let's work on this big flower. Which way do we want it? Well, there's lots of ways to play. If you're working with decoupage, it tends to be better that you cup it that way, because you're going to put the decoupage layers inside. You can do it over the edge. It doesn't matter which way, but you're going to get the impact when it goes up and you've got that rounded bowl that you're creating. You're going to need an appropriate size ball tool. Work your way up your ball tools. Don't always use small ones or always use big ones. Choose between, go around. So taking this is too big. I can see it's too big in my head. That's my one I want. So I'm just going to work my way through these petals first.
Have they got cut lines in them as well?
Yep, every single one. So I'll show you that in a second, because they're incredibly powerful. Now, more than ever, if you've got time, I cannot tell you how pleasurable it is to sit and use a small ball tool and just work every petal. And honestly, the payoff is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's fiddly and I know not everybody wants to do it, but for those of you at home that have got the patience, the payoff is enormous when we do this. Can you see how those cut lines are breaking through, and that's allowing that lift? So each little part, each little petal is lifting. That visual is just important.
And you always recommend for double-sided vignettes 120 GSM Pro paper?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you double it up, it becomes 240.
Carnation's cut lines, why do we need them? See how I've got my pokey going through?
Mm-hmm.
It allows me to build shape to the nth degree. Now I've done what I wanted to do, but I'm now going to take my big ball tool and I'm going to start curving the inside. Why? Because I'm putting pressure on here, just on the inside. It's just going to help me bowl it out a little bit more. And I'm just going to take it and wiggle and jiggle, but I don't want any more than that because I'm about to lay decoupage. So same thing again, but this time I'll go a little bit quicker. We're getting into smaller elements. If it was me and I was sitting at home, I absolutely would do this with my small ball tool. I don't want to keep you here all day. Patrice wants to put my order in, but it's coming up at $109.99. Is there a code? Yeah, Patrice, when you're on the checkout, can you type in the code CCFE10, which is Charlie Charlie Foxtrot Echo 10, all in capitals. That'll take it down to you to the proper price. It'll give you a full 10% discount, Patrice. So I hope that helps.
And Patrice, that's for absolutely everyone to use, okay? CCFE10, that should do it. That gives you that $98.99 price.
So I'm just working my way through these. Each layer is going to be sculpted individually, and each layer is going to have its most rounded effect. Now, as I get to smaller pieces, that curvature is going to be higher because we're working with a smaller surface area. So this piece has got that really rotund, lovely, lovely working, and that's what I want. Normally, I would say straighten it out. Absolutely not in this case. I want that bowling. I can't get it on this one because the surface area is too big. I start to get it on this one because the surface area is small. In this one, I can manipulate to the nth degree, and now I can work in height. That means pin flare or foam tape to the max. Let's play. So where we've got this, we're layering them on. Don't squash it, just let it breathe. Same again. Out.
And of course, using the pin flare glue gel, that's going to dry solid, which is also going to help if you are posting it to make it sure, or make sure it arrives in one piece.
Can you see the full feathering up?
Yeah.
The lift that we're getting. That sculpting is such a vital part of learning this card concept sort of idea with Carnation, where we sculpt instead of just simply placing. Now, the first thing I've got to do now is start committing to where I'm placing my foliage. So I'm just going to hold this. I want my stem to be right, so I'm just going to pin it in the small place here and pin that to my fan detail. Same again hither. Pin it down. Okay. Mm-hmm. Look at that colour with that foliage on that peach at the back. Is that not just so pretty?
And I love the fact it's not flat. It's all very dimensional.
Yes. And it's got that full lift, hasn't it? That glorious burst to it. Now, we've got these. These are really interesting little pieces of foliage, and I love them very, very much. There's something very, very unusual about them. They're great when they're decoupaged up. You've put two layers together, it really fills things out. But they can be used in double the way. So if I place this at the bottom, I can then seat this just over it, and I get that lovely leaf shape.
It's like a little seat for it, isn't it?
Mm. Mm. Now, your alternative is, if you're not shaping things out, you could place that on top. But I love it for the bottom of it. It's that really beautiful pinpointing that we get, and that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay a little bit of adhesive here, and I'm going to very carefully select where I'm going to place this down. So I'm going to just choose to do this at the top. And just push. Now that's slightly higher. It allows me a little bit more lift with my biggest floral, because that's my showstopper. Then I'm going to take a whacking great big amount of pin flare. Let's play, because we've got the height and I want to retain it.
It's like a miniature theatre set on a stage, isn't it? Incredible.
So this one, I'm not going to do a huge amount with this one. I've got it where I want it to be. What I'm going to do is just separate these petals. I'm not shaping it. What I don't want to do is detract from this. I can, but I don't really want to. I'm going to just round it out slightly, okay? Just not much, but a little bit. Oh. I'm going to use a small amount of pin flare on this, not a lot. Well, I'm just using it really as an adhesive tone, but I need to be able to shift it in case I place it wrongly. Once I've got it in place, I can absolutely make sure everything is absolutely adhered. So then I'm going to go with the same thing again. So just that slight cupping out, and then a little bit more pin flare. Place that in, let that slot just into that, so I've got even more rise than I previously had. And you can see we're starting to really get into the element of sculpt, of 3D, of effective crafting with paper, and how paper is its own life form, and why I love it so much, and why Nick has made me the happiest puppy ever.
And can you see why I personally love coming here to do the Carnation launches? It's always been my favourite card
So
manufacturer.
to make you a real nice lunch, Dave.
Well, yeah, that as well, yeah. But no, Carnation Crafts manufacture the most incredible dies and bring the most incredible tools to enable us to make the most incredible cards. It's always been a firm favourite of mine, and I know that's why you love Carnation so much as well, because your cards are going to stand out, it's going to create attention, it's going to fill people's hearts with joy if it's maybe for a parent or for a member of your family when you give a Carnation card. It really is in a league of its own of luxury.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, 2 little extra purples just at the top there, just to round it out. And then finally, with my white space, and take it from me, guys, if this was me and it was me doing it, I wouldn't put a sentiment on. I would leave it exactly like that, because to me, we are at perfection at this point. Doesn't need adding, but I know sentiments are hugely popular, and they're something that people love to place. Choose white on white, find your central point, place it on foam tape so you get your shade. Simple, elegant, blissful, really easy.
Amazing.
Lovely card to make.
Okay, well, it is the Floral Embrace collection. You too could be making cards like that Carla's shown you, or like all the fantastic cards that have come in from our design team. I mean, this one is Sue Dalrymple, which, as you can see, equally as gorgeous. This time using just a quarter of, or half of, the actual the base shape there, the halo card shape, just cutting that into a quarter, and it works a treat. You can of course use it twice and make a complete doily circle if you want to, but those 3-dimensional beautiful blue flowers just literally pop off the surface of the card. If you fancy getting this right now, it's, remember, using the discount code, which is CCFE10. If you don't do that, they'll charge you £109.99. Don't pay that. Pay 10% less, $98.99 if you use CCFE10. And for making flowers, this is the stunning technique that you can enjoy doing. That's in a nutshell how easy it is to put these flowers together. You'll put your own unique twist on it, obviously. We're going to try and get another demo in before the end of the show. So Carla, what do you want to show us next?
Yeah, we're going to have a look at construction and height value in your construction with the 3D vase shape that we're using, the halo card shape. Becky has just said, hi Shadi, I'm from Canada and find the timely shipping over here is awesome. I've never seen a company work so fast when they get an order. It's like pick back posted.
Yeah.
You like see steam coming off them in the back room. They're so good.
You buy it in the show now. It's picked up by Royal Mail this afternoon. Can't be any quicker than that, can it?
No. So what I've got here is the halo card shape. I've put my mat and layer together, which is, you know, it's obvious what we're doing there, but it's this bit. Now, I spoke to you this morning about the fact that you can keep it flat, but if you do, whichever little slot that you're going to put your little tabs into, you have to make sure that they are free. Because if you glue it down, you're not going to be able to put those tabs in. Foam tape's going to be your best friend because it's going to raise it just enough for you to be able to slip everything in and out of. It'll just make things a little bit easier for you. So you've got the band that sits here, and what we're going to do is just turn that over onto the score line and just fold. From here we're going to make choices. Do we want our flowers to be put onto this piece here? Do we want them to be just held slightly back? There's little slots you can see that you can tuck these all into, and you can choose which way, so you get these shapely ways. You can turn them round and do them in a long line. You can bring them round and do them in the short. So you can create all these different shapes.
So
There's loads of different ways of playing with it. It doesn't have to be done in one way. Now I'm going to work centrally, and that's purely because I think the majority of you will start by your central rule. I have said this morning the same thing. You put these two together. If you're not posting it, or if you're going to use a box to post it, glue them together and make your life a lot easier. But because I'm going to assume that this is going to be posted, I'm going to place this through, and I'm going to take the tabs and I'm going to fold them back on themselves, okay? And I'm just going to pinch to make sure they stay secure and where they are. Now I can still stick my base down, have that where it is, and I can still release it at the end. The point being is it's just where I need it to be for construction, because I need to actually pin this down. So that's why foam tape is such a help to you. I've got mine on a 3mm. Some of them I will leave just purely for height. So this one is just for height, and others I will take off just for stick. Oh. Now, I'm going to be quite quick on this, so it's not going to be the fullest because we are obviously running low on time, but I just wanted to talk to you about height differences. So I'm going to put mine this way, and the reason I put mine this way is because I like my tabs to be at the back and I like this to be at the front where I've got that sort of higher point. I just really like it as a visual, but it's up to everybody and it can be done. So we're just going to place through. That is where I want it to be. Now I start looking at the visual textural pieces of height and foliage and how I work it.
The foliage makes such a massive difference. It really brings an awful lot to the table, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take this piece with these leaves and I'm just going to place on a very small amount of wet glue. And I'm actually going to stick it to the front. Just to here. Notice I'm not shaping it. I'm just sticking it to the front. Okay, that's going to be my first point of height. Remember, we're talking about height and dimension. That's my first visual leveling point in height. Then I'm going to work up with my grasses, but I can also add in florals at foliage at this time. So I've got some elements here that I'm going to play with and look at. So let's see where we've got.
Can you imagine trying to cut all those grass leaves out? I mean, the dye does a brilliant job, but that's so fine. So
now what you can do with these, which is ace, is you see there's these wee little tabs at the bottom, just on my fingers. I can use those to glue these together, and I can piece them and then put them all down as one round if I so chose to. It can make life easier, but you can also choose to overlap, so you get a depth, a much thicker depth. And it's up to you what you want to do. I do try and glue them together if I can, because it makes it easier when I'm gluing gluing them finally to the last piece. My glue's all a bit thick because of the heat. I apologise, apologise, apologise. Put that onto there. And I'm going to do a third one as well. I want it to cup round as much as I can. You can go the whole way around as well. It's entirely your choice. Oh. Clarty. My glue's gone clarty, Dave.
Is that the word?
Clarty.
Is that a Yorkshire word?
I don't know.
I've never heard that before. Clarty?
I think in the old days, didn't they used to say that you'd be kissing and clarting? Wasn't that a word?
I've not heard of that.
Has anybody at home heard that? Or is that just Yorkshire? Maybe it's
I think it's just a Yorkshire thing, maybe.
Maybe it is. But clarty is when something is like claggy.
Well, it's making the glue dry that much quicker because it is like about 50 degrees in here today. Sweltering.
I nearly came back in a bikini and Miss Taz said I was not allowed.
So did I.
Yeah, you did. Everyone was like, Carla, we still need people to watch. I was like, no fun. So glue at the bottom, place this in, shape it through, push it down to the bottom and pin it. And I was saying to you earlier about you could use a mirror to do this in, because you would have that kind of really beautiful visual that you might need in order to be able to find your dimension and everything going through. But very, very sweet to work with and very lovely too.
So you recommend working from the back rather than from the front?
It's entirely up to you. You might find it easier for the front for yourselves. I find it easier from the back because I can place at the back and I can see where my glue line's going. If I'm going to try and fight over the grass, what's going to happen is I'm going to bend the grass, and I don't want to do that.
Good point.
So this way I can work from the back, but if you've got a mirror sitting at the front or a camera, you can see exactly what that's going to look like. That's not an issue. So it's about playing. I'm going to come in with some florals. Now, florals are going to be obviously important because it depends which florals you use, which colours are you going for. Are you going for the big florals? Are you going to mix everything up, or are you going to bring in smaller florals? Which sort of wild colours and patterns are you going to work with? I'm bringing in the florals that I made up. Oh, sorry, Dave. Can I just shunt that there? Now, one of the ones I want to show you haphazardly in my hand is this one, where we pin those small floral details on these pieces, and they're super, super sweet. So we've got lots of different elements that we're going to play with. Now, I love this one, and I love the fact that I've got a curvature on it. I don't know if you can see how it just swings to one side. The reason I've managed to achieve that is because I'm using just a single-sided vignette on my stem, so I get that curve over. Now, would that be stable enough for posting? Possibly not, but I love it for the visual. I like the fact that I'm getting that bend, and I was talking to you about that earlier. How do you want it to look?
Because real flowers, none of them stand upright. No.
And I think it's careful. You know, the more you visually have a look in your garden and think, right, okay, this one isn't standing straight, the more you can play. So placing that daisy, just pretty, pretty. See how their little heads turn as if they're looking towards the sun? It's so beautiful. Now, height difference, that's really high. This one is much lower. So, when I place it, I can tuck it behind. Think of wildflowers.
Yeah. The meadow on a sunny day.
The meadow on a sunny day. Now I want to balance that out, so I am going to use another one of those florals, but I'm going to use a little one, and I'm going to change the height down to sort of match. I'm not going to be absolute, but I do want it to match a little bit, just to see where I'm playing with heights. So I'm just going to snip a smidge.
I love this collection because you can make it as minimalist as you wish, or you can make it as flamboyant as you wish. It's entirely your call. You can take it to the next level of detail and decoration. And the fact you've got the double-sided vignettes, it's beautiful from the side, the back, the front, every which angle you look at.
Now we go detailed. We go on to those more structured florals, where we have got much more shaping out. And these are going to dominate. I know they're going to dominate, and that's okay. So I'm careful to put those smaller ones underneath. So I've got some height going through, and I can work my heights out. It's always going to be your best way is to be able to work your heights from the start. So I'm going to put another one of those in. And I'm being careful with my colour choices, not necessarily that I wouldn't use all of the colours in this, but where I'm placing them visually. Either don't care at all and make sure it's a cacophony of noise, put them wherever, or just think visually in terms of lines, symmetry and that kind of thing, so you get a visual stimulus where you need it. Okay, so we're playing with heights, but we're keeping colours toned, we're keeping them balanced, we're keeping them playing in the nice way. Now what I can do, and I love these so much, see these big ones we were just playing with a minute ago, aren't they beautiful? What I would really want to do is raise that. I'd want it to be the highest point of my whole demonstration. And that's going to be difficult to do because the stem's not big enough. But what I can do, which may be more effective for me, is to trim it right down. Remember I lifted this up?
Yep.
So if I take this, a little bit on both sides, I should, theoretically, excuse my head, just Slip
Tuck
that
it in.
and allow it to sit and glue. So that sits forward as a showstopper, and now we really are working height. Now the joy of that is I can attach it to one of the florals behind, and that's going to the grass as such, so that is going to strengthen it even more.
Good idea.
So now it doesn't matter about that heady weight that we get at the front, because it's all going to sit together in this peaceful form. And basically what you're going to do is continue in that vein. Now, if it was me, I would want to ensure that I've got foliage behind, because I don't feel like I've got enough. I've got too much of a gap at the bottom, and I don't love it. I don't love the gap at the bottom. So either I'm going to cover it with a ribbon or something along those lines, or I'm going to start adding in more foliage. And you can do that behind, masking it. So just adding in more weight, so you get these little leaves that are shunting through, so you're kind of hiding your foliage almost, or just go absolute and start to tuck it at the front. It depends where you want to be, and for that we would sort of take these elements and we would just start to tuck them through in the gaps that we've got. I'm trying to work backwards here, guys, sorry, just let me put my head through. There we go. So we can tuck them, we can tuck elements in, we can tuck them within those florals, and we can build height. And you'll pin them, you'll just glue them, just so they sit straight and they sit together. And that's how you're going to build your height pieces. And we haven't got time to do full ones, because if I wanted to sit and go at this, I could spend the best part of 2 hours just being my own florist, but play with texture and height.
What I love is that Carnation have quite simply given you the individual components, the individual foliage, individual leaves, the individual flowers, and everyone's composition that they put together will be different. Whether you're doing a traditional card like this, for example, having those three-dimensional flowers leaping off the card front, or whether you're doing something much more decorative and detailed like this one here, which has used the fantastic halo card shape twice, once as the base, once as that beautiful tiara around at the back there. You just go to town and enjoy. You're going to get all of those dies. Plus remember, tomorrow is the crunch day. Tomorrow is the day that the vignettes will appear on the Carnation Crafts website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can print all that artwork off from tomorrow. If you ordered this morning, your order is probably all on the way already, because there was a pickup this morning, mid-morning, and there's another Royal Mail pickup this afternoon. So if you order it in this show, hopefully your order will be picked and packed and posted before the end of business today. So thank you ever so much, Carla. Brilliant demos as ever.
It's been right mafting, but it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been hard, but it's
been
great.
It has.
Thank
And
you,
listen,
Taz.
make the most of it.
Thank you for your company. I'll see you again round about this time next month, but you're back tomorrow with more demonstrations 10 and 12, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you for your company. Enjoy your order, and thank you for watching Carnation Crafts TV.